Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Talk English to Me. I'm Jake, your resident language nerd, here with my ever enthusiastic co host, Nina.
Hey, Nina here. I'm extra excited for today, Jake, because we're tackling something every English learner struggles with: how to stay positive when learning gets tough. I mean, let's be real, it's not always rainbows and butterflies, right?
Oh, totally. English can throw some curveballs, and sometimes it feels like your brain's made of spaghetti. But I promise there are ways to keep your spirits up and keep moving forward, even when you stumble over, say, phrasal verbs or those weird spelling rules.
So true. I remember when I first tried to use get up and get over in the same sentence, I nearly gave up. But before we get into tips and stories, Jake, tell me, have you ever wanted to quit learning a language?
Absolutely. When I was learning Spanish, I hit a wall with verb conjugations. I kept mixing up hablo, hablas, and hablan. I felt like I'd never get it. But then I realized every mistake was just a sign that I was actually learning something new. That shift in mindset made a huge difference.
Ooh, mindset. I like that. So, let's dive in. What's the first thing learners can do to stay positive, even when English feels impossible?
First up, celebrate small wins. Seriously, it's like leveling up in a video game. Maybe today you understood a joke in an English movie, or you ordered coffee without panicking. Those tiny victories add up. I used to keep a language win journal and jot down every little success. It sounds cheesy, but it keeps you motivated.
I love that. Listeners, what's your last language win? Maybe you finally nailed the difference between there, and there, or just survived a phone call in English. Tell us, we want to celebrate with you.
Exactly. And to keep it real, let me share a story. I had a student, May, who was terrified of speaking. She used to freeze up in class. But one day she managed to ask, "Where's the bathroom?" in a busy train station. Not only did she get directions, but she also got a compliment on her pronunciation. After that, her confidence shot up.
That's awesome. Sometimes the tiniest steps feel like giant leaps. But Jake, what about those days when it feels like nothing's working? Like you study for hours and still mix up present perfect and past simple. How do you keep the positivity then?
Great question. That's where reframing mistakes comes in. Instead of thinking, ugh, I failed, try, hey, I just found what I need to practice more. Mistakes are like your brain's GPS, showing you where to turn next. I always say, if you're not making mistakes, you're probably not challenging yourself enough.
So, mistakes are good news? That's a relief. I might be a genius then, considering how many I make.
If that's the case, I'm Einstein. Seriously though, every fluent speaker has a graveyard of mistakes behind them. It's part of the process. And sometimes, those mistakes make for the best stories.
Speaking of stories, have you ever had a language fail that turned into a win?
Oh, absolutely. When I was traveling in Italy, I tried to say, I'm excited to be here, but I accidentally told someone, I'm pregnant to be here. The look on their face. But you know what? That broke the ice. We all laughed, and I remembered the correct word forever.
That's hilarious. I once told a British friend I was full of beans, thinking it meant energetic. Turns out, in the UK, it can also mean talking nonsense. She was like, well, at least you're honest. So, listeners, don't be afraid to laugh at yourself.
100%. Humor is your best friend in this journey. If you can laugh at your mistakes, you'll never run out of reasons to keep going.
Okay, let's talk about something practical. A lot of learners get discouraged when they compare themselves to others, especially online. Everyone seems so fluent. How do you deal with that?
That's a big one. Social media can be inspiring, but it's also a highlight reel. No one posts their bloopers or their 10 failed tries at pronouncing squirrel. Focus on your own progress. I like to remind my students, don't compare your chapter 2 to someone else's chapter 20. Everyone's journey is unique.
It's a great point. Sometimes you only see the end result, not the years of practice behind it. Jake, do you have a tip for tracking your own progress instead of comparing?
For sure, record yourself speaking once a month. It's like your own language time capsule. When you listen back, you'll hear how much you've improved, even if you didn't notice it day to day. Or write a short diary entry in English and read it months later. You'll spot the difference.
That's genius. Listeners, try it out. And send us a voice memo. We'd love to hear your progress. But Jake, what about motivation slumps? Sometimes you just don't feel like studying. Any hacks for getting out of a rut?
Totally normal. Motivation isn't a constant. Think of it like the weather. Some days are sunny, some are stormy. On low motivation days, do something fun in English. Watch a silly YouTube video, listen to a song you love, or play a word game. The key is to keep English part of your daily life, even if it's just for 5 minutes.
Yes. Learning doesn't have to be all grammar drills and flashcards. I once memorized the lyrics to Bohemian Rhapsody and felt like a rock star, even if I still can't hit those high notes.
I'd pay to hear that performance. But you're right, music, movies, and games make learning feel less like a chore and more like an adventure.
Okay, Jake, I have a burning question. What's the weirdest or most creative way you've seen someone practice English?
Oh, this one's good. I had a student who labeled everything in her house with sticky notes. Even her cat had a tag that said, cat. She'd walk around, pick up an item, and make a sentence, this is a spoon. I eat soup with a spoon. Her cat wasn't impressed, but her vocabulary skyrocketed.
I love that. I once knew someone who practiced by narrating their day out loud, like a sports commentator. And now Nina approaches the fridge. Will she choose the yogurt or the mysterious leftovers? It sounded silly, but it worked.
That's brilliant. The more you interact with English in real life, the more it sticks. Even talking to yourself counts, just maybe avoid it in public elevators.
Unless you want to make new friends or get some weird looks. Okay, it's time for our audience question of the week. This one comes from Sam in Poland. He asks, how do I stay positive when I feel like I'll never be fluent?
Great question, Sam. First, fluency isn't a finish line, it's more like a spectrum. Some days you'll feel unstoppable, other days, not so much. Focus on being better than yesterday, not perfect. And remember, most native speakers aren't perfect either. They forget words, mix up grammar, and invent new slang all the time.
Exactly. I once heard a native speaker say, more better. No one's perfect, Sam. And sometimes good enough is all you need to communicate.
Here's a fun fact. The average native English speaker has a vocabulary of about 20,000 words, but uses only 2,000 in daily conversation. So don't worry about knowing every word, focus on the most useful ones, and you'll get by just fine.
That's reassuring. And Sam, if you ever need a boost, remember why you started. Was it to travel? Make friends? Watch Netflix without subtitles? Keep that goal in sight.
Well said. And reward yourself for every step forward. Learning a language is like climbing a mountain. Celebrate every base camp, not just the summit.
I love that analogy. All right, Jake, let's lighten things up. What's your most embarrassing English language fail?
Oh, you want me to spill my secrets? Okay. When I was first teaching, I meant to say, let's focus on pronunciation. But I accidentally said, let's focus on pregnancy. The class burst out laughing. I turned redder than a tomato.
That's amazing. I once told a group I was constipated when I meant confused. Let's just say I got a lot of concerned looks and a cup of herbal tea.
See, folks? Even teachers mess up. The key is to laugh, learn, and move on.
Absolutely. So, let's wrap up with some key tips for staying positive on your English journey. Jake, want to kick us off?
Sure thing. Tip 1. Celebrate every win, no matter how small. Write them down, tell a friend, or treat yourself to a cookie.
Tip 2. Reframe mistakes as learning opportunities. If you never mess up, you're not pushing yourself enough.
Tip 3. Avoid comparing your progress to others. Focus on your own journey, record your voice, keep a journal, and notice your growth.
Tip 4. Make English fun. Watch shows, sing songs, play games, or label your cat. Whatever keeps you engaged.
Tip 5. Remember your why. Keep your goals in sight and reward yourself for every step forward.
Love those. And most importantly, don't give up. Progress isn't always fast or easy, but every day you practice, you're getting better, even if you don't see it right away.
So true. And hey, if you need a pep talk, come back and listen to us. We are rooting for you every step of the way.
That's right. Thanks for hanging out with us today. If you enjoyed this episode, hit follow, share it with your friends, and leave us a review. We love hearing from you.
And send us your language wins, fails, or questions for a chance to be featured on the show. Until next time, keep smiling, keep practicing, and remember, you've got this.
Bye, everyone. Stay positive and keep speaking English.